If you're like me and have the self-discipline of a 4-year-old when it comes to eating habits, then this video is for you. If I'm overly stressed or bored, I don't control nutrition properly and I would just eat what comes into my hands. The problem here is that this habit leads into a spiral of having less energy, being in a bad mood and feeling like a loser. For a long time, I didn't question what I was eating at all and how it affected my body and my mind. I knew that there's healthy and unhealthy foods, but I only thought in terms of weight gain and looking like my buddy Yasin Cengiz. Shout out my man. But there's so much more to it. In his book Superlife, Olien gives nutritional stress even an extra chapter. You might know Darin from the Netflix series Down to Earth with Zac Efron. He's the guy who gives Zac strange looks when he talks rubbish again. In his book, he shows exactly how the bad food culture has become a huge part of our lives and how large corporations benefit from our addiction to cheap calories. He says that if we have high cortisol levels, meaning high stress levels, it causes cravings for sugar, salt and fat. And if we satisfy those hungers, we worsen our stress level, what is called nutritional stress. He says, every day we add a little more poison to our systems. It's edible, so it qualifies as food, but our cells don't recognize it as food or anything they can use. It's a hostile invader and must be filtered, neutralized and excreted. These ads are so well designed I even get hungry while editing. Are you always tired? Are you often in a bad mood? Do you have low energy levels or motivation? I actually was that guy who was tired all the time, often jittery, and I had a lot of injuries playing soccer. And I wasn't even questioning that state of my body and my mind. Nutrition-wise, I ate a lot of the really good stuff. Pizza, burger, fries, chocolate, you name it. And I still think it's delicious. Now, with the big difference that I know that this taste is carefully engineered and most of the ingredients are heavily processed. After reading Superlife by Olien, I just learned how nutrition affected my stress level big time and also my long-term health, daily mood and energy level. According to Darin and the numerous studies he quote, every ingredient that's not whole, fresh, raw, plant-based, but processed in any way is something our body and especially our cells don't recognize and have to fight against. And then two things happen. Usually we eat something, need some energy to digest it and get back energy from the food we've eaten. That's the case for good food. With processed food, our cells need so much energy to digest what we've just eaten because they don't know this stuff and they have to transport it to a place where it can be processed. Plus, they don't get any energy back because there's nothing they can use. Darin calls this being mechanically full but nutritionally starved, meaning we just consume a lot of empty calories. I hope by now you get the point that it's very important what you put into your mouth. But let's face it, our brain wants cheap calories for survival. Our convenience level is just super high and our cravings make it so much harder to refrain from grabbing the chocolate. And at least for me, knowing all this doesn't necessarily keep me from doing it. I've improved a lot, but it's so hard to change a habit that has been built for more than 30 years now. If you're facing the same challenge, don't blame yourself too much because it's really hard to reprogram your mind to crave for broccoli and not for chocolate. So here are my learnings and my ideas what you should eat and how you can build good habits around that. First of all, what should you eat? Like Darin writes, your cells need micro and macronutrients, meaning vitamins, fiber, proteins. Like, look that up, micro and macronutrients. Just Google it. What your cells also need is water to transport all the nutrients to the right place. So where can you get these nutrients from? Like I mentioned, whole foods that are fresh, meaning they were ripe when they were harvested and didn't have to travel long distances to come to your supermarket. And raw, meaning that they didn't lose nutrients while being processed or overly heated, like cooked or something. And plant-based, meaning that Darin calls this, they stored energy from the sun. They got nutrients from the soil, meaning from the earth. Like, sounds kind of esoteric, but I love the idea. So that's what you should eat. And now let's look at our habits. All the ideas regarding habits come from this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I can totally recommend it. It's awesome and it can change your life. So the first very important thing is one step at a time. Start very, very, very small. If you want to do this crazy 180 turnaround, your habits aren't very likely to stick. Trying to build very small steps and habits into your daily routine instead of changing everything at once will be much more doable. Minor changes that you will actually keep doing will also give you a sense of control over your life. Like James Clear says, habits are the compound interest of self-development. And I totally agree. And he also says, success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations. So take this advice seriously and make really, really small steps. Like start with, I just want to eat one apple in the morning. What I eat in the rest of the day doesn't matter. Just one apple in the morning. What happens is you will see very, very little results. You will notice that you will be much more energized after eating that apple than drinking your 5th cup of coffee. And combining the idea of very small steps with Darin's idea of the movement cycle can give you the right mindset. The movement cycle gives you 2 points to start. Either you start with movement, meaning exercising, running, lifting, whatever, which results in your body craving for good food he actually needs, or you start with healthy nutrition, which will lead into your body like wanting to move, like a Ferrari that you put the right fuel in, like you feel you want to move. And stepping into this cycle with very, very small and little daily steps can give you the advantage you need. The second thing is environmental design. Just setting the goal of good eating habits won't get you anywhere. Winners and losers often have the same goals, so goals obviously don't make the difference. Way more important are the systems that you build around these goals. In our case, the design of our immediate environment. If there's no shitty food to grab, you don't even have to control yourself, because the more friction there is in getting the crap food, the more likely you will resist. And for me, in other words, that's the more distance between me and the shitty food, the better. So simply not buying it in the first place really helps best for me. Like I said, when I know it's in the fridge, I have the self-discipline of a 4-year-old. What also increases friction is like just delete delivery apps. It's not likely that you will always reinstall them to get your food. And do something like meal prep. It's really popular, but it's just a very simple and good idea to raise your convenience level for the good food because it's already prepared. So environment design, very, very important step. And the third idea goes a little bit deeper because both of the previous ideas are more like process based, meaning changing your habits and your system around those habits. But there's an even deeper level. James Clear describes this as identity based habits, and this layer is about your self-image and your judgments around yourself. And changing this layer is very powerful because you start focusing on who you want to become. Like, what kind of person do I want to become? Darin doesn't write about habits in his book, but he gives us the sentence, is this what I want to be made of? And that's kind of a identity-based question. Is this food that I put into my mouth what I want to be made of? That's a very good question. And you also see a lot of shorts and TikToks around, first you need to become this person. And what looks a little bit strange is very true. Fake it until you make it, but for yourself, not for your surroundings. I think this really works. Like, be the person you want to be before you actually are that person, if that makes any sense. Just say to yourself, I'm a confident person with a lot of energy and a good mood, and then think about what you need to do regarding your eating habits to be that person. And then just force yourself into eating very clean for a whole week, and you will start to feel the energy. You will see how it feels to actually be in a good mood with a lot of energy, and how how it feels to be that person actually. So I hope my learnings will help you lower your stress level, your anxiety level by building good habits around nutrition. If you want to know exactly what Darin recommends eating, just let me know. And if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm. And with that said, see you in the next video. Peace.